Hey everybody, welcome to Will and Drew's Gaming Retrospective. You are listening to episode 116. It's the week of March 7th, 2021. I'm your host, Drew, and I am joined by the camping canteen himself, Will. Dude, you and I are like canteen bros right now. Hydro homies, one might say. What do we got? This is Iron Flask is this one. I feel like well, sure. We'll go with that. I think I only have 32. I feel inadequate now. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, how do you even like carry that? Yeah. Really? So let's see here. We are having some technical issues at the moment. It appears that you have no audio for some reason, which is really bizarre because you have audio on my side. Yeah. This is weird. I guess we'll throw up our BRB screen. We're off to a great start, aren't we? So, stand by. All right, check. 1, 2. I think we fixed it. Will, are you there?
I am here, sir.
Can everybody hear Will? If you are in the chat, please let us know if you can hear both of us. And through the...
Loud and clear.
Awesome,
Nice.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I have no idea how that happened.
Beats me.
I haven't changed anything since last week. We were talking about water.
Yes, we were, and our giant canteens. I mean, this actually does have a handle on it, and it has cat tooth marks, like cat bite marks all over it.
Of course it
Because
does.
it's like a hard rubber, so you can thank Atlas and Mars for that one.
Oh, goodness. My cats have not bitten my water bottle yet. That's something I am thankful for. Anyway, man, how the hell are you? What's going on in the world of Will?
Not too much, man. I mean, still plugging away at the new job.
Yep.
So that's going well
Yeah.
and learning everything there. And I made a couple new tracks over the weekend, so you can check those out if you guys follow my music.
They're lit.
And they're lit. Is that what you said?
Lit AF.
Appreciate that, man. I saw your fire emojis, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" I don't do a show with him.
I had to use at least 5 emoji before.
Yeah, I knew it was just out of complete obnoxion, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, outside of that, man, honestly, I can't really complain too much. Just kind of staying busy and trying to hack the woes of being an adult every day.
It is challenging, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
It's past week or so has been pretty good since we last talked. Nikki and I have started watching Cobra Kai, which is for those that are not familiar, it's a Netflix show based off of the Karate Kid. We sat down and started watching it and blew through almost the entire first season in one sitting. We finished it up the next day and then started it again. We picked up season 2 maybe 3 episodes in last night, and before we knew it, like we started at like 6 o'clock, and before we knew it was 10, and we're like almost done with the season. We have no idea how this happens, but it always happens with the show. This is one of those shows that just, it sucks you in, man. And like, I grew up loving the Karate Kid. That was like one of my favorite movies when I was a child, and I did martial arts, so I had that like identification with it, and this is just like bringing back all those memories, but it's so good. It's so well done.
I've got to check it out, man. I think Lauren mentioned it once, and I've definitely glazed across it a few times.
Don't glaze across it, man. When you're flipping through, just press play. I'm telling you, like do it when you have like nothing going on, like when you don't have to be up in the morning early or something, or like you're just unwinding. You don't really know, like I don't feel like getting into anything too serious. You just put it on and just let it go, and before you know it, it'll be bedtime, and you'll be in season 3.
Fair enough.
So let's give a shout out to the Twitch chat. What do you think, man?
Let's do it.
So we got Epic Outro. We got Killer Ciroc, Pencil Burn. Thanks, guys, for stopping on by. We really appreciate it. Pencil Burn, you are right. Anything with the word karate or ninja was the best back in the good old days. Oh, man, I miss cheesy martial arts movies like you wouldn't believe. And thankfully, there are still people that carry those on, but it is just not the same.
It isn't, man. You got to have Van Damme doing those split kicks.
Definitely.
Bloodsport style.
I was watching Bloodsport the other day, too. Fucking love that movie.
Dude, it is so bad, but so good.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's everything about it. Anyway. We're on the web at www.wdgrpodcast.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at WDGRPodcast. Will, how can somebody find you?
It's like, who are we again?
Yeah, right?
You can find me at soundcloud.com/will_gear. You can check out my lit fire tracks at that particular link.
Lit AF. And you can find me on Twitter at ScionStorm. Yeah, man. So we kind of have like a bullshit episode planned today.
We do. And, if you can't already tell.
and quite frankly, we both need it. We do have some business to get out of the way, though, and that is the March Madness. Should we dive in, or?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Let's dive into March Madness. So, for those of you that have not been following along, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what's going on. We've been doing a 64-game tournament to basically find out who the best video game is. And we've been leaving it up to you guys to vote on it. Been putting up a Twitter poll every week with every single matchup, and you can vote on it and let us know which games you think are the best. So it's been a wild ride so far. Round 2 ended this morning, and I gotta say, man, there's been some pretty shocking developments coming out of this round 2. I think you're going to be pretty blown away by some of these matchups, Will.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. And like I said last time, I don't do brackets. I don't do sports. I don't do competitions, but I'm enjoying this thoroughly.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to see where everything is going. So I'm going to bring up the brackets. Let's take a look and see where we're at. Hopefully everything loads up properly. I'm hoping. Let's see here. So we have a view of the giant grid, which you probably won't be able to see unless you're looking at it on a massive television. But let's dive right in and take a look at some of the details here. So we have the northern bracket, and these are the matches that we had setting up for that. Demon's Souls, Dark Souls versus Grand Theft Auto, Halo versus Mass Effect, Pokemon versus Elder Scrolls, and Final Fantasy versus Half-Life. And heading into the first match, Demon's Souls and Dark Souls against Grand Theft Auto. Do you have any predictions on who took the win on this one, Will?
Oh, man. I mean, look, I'm going to probably have to say Dark Souls. Demon's Souls, Dark Souls.
Yeah. Let's find out. You were right, sir.
Here.
Demon's Souls did pick up the win, almost 61% of the vote against Grand Theft Auto's 39.1%. I really expected GTA to put up more of a fight on this one.
I am surprised, and biased or not, GTA is so wildly popular. I'd never see it. I could never see it lose to such a niche title, or what was once a niche title, such as Demon's Souls and Dark Souls. So ultimately shocking.
And this is a pretty significant win for Demon's Souls and Dark Souls too. This isn't like a close battle. I think it says a lot about our audience. Basically, it means that they all hate themselves and they like to play games that torture them. So
gluttons for punishment.
Does seem that way. Moving on to the next match, we have Halo versus Mass Effect. Any thoughts on this one?
This has gotta be Halo, hands down.
I mean, I'm pulling for Mass Effect here. Mass Effect is one of my all-time favorites, and I've gushed on about it more than enough on this show. But
that's sensible.
Unfortunately, Mass Effect has fallen. Commander Shepard couldn't get the job done. Halo beats Mass Effect 56-44.
Close-ish.
Yeah, this is a little bit heartbreaking for me, but I get it. Halo was the original Xbox system seller. Mass Effect is unfortunately a more niche game, which is kind of weird to say from two AAA titles. But I think it's true.
It still kind of is, man. It's that space opera.
Opera, yeah.
That people, certain kind of folks are into and certain kind of folks aren't. So
pretty much. So looking up ahead, we have Demon's Souls and Dark Souls facing off against Halo in the next round, which is the Sweet 16. This might be the downfall of Demon's Souls, man.
I'd hate to see it, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised.
But you have held on pretty nicely thus far.
Yeah, it's still, I know I said this before, but it still blows me away, man, that Demon's Souls has made such a comeback from being such an obscure title on the PS3 that no one was playing.
That is true. Epic Outro notes in the chat, isn't Halo a space opera too? And I would say not in the same way. Halo is an action game first and a story second, in my opinion, whereas Mass Effect is very story driven, primarily. That game, while the action is the vehicle for the game and a big part of it, but it's those relationships that you're building between your characters, I think, are more important than which gun you're shooting.
I think it's very different. Mass Effect with that dialogue wheel, I mean, that just changes the game entirely from Halo.
Pencil Burn in the chat asks, can I vote if I've only played the PS5 version of Demon's Souls? The answer is yes. You can vote on any of these. The voting is closed for this round, but for the next round, swing on by our Twitter at WDGRPodcast. After the show is complete, there'll be a thread with all the matchups, and just give me a little bit of time to post them. And then you can vote on all of them. You don't have to just vote on games that you played. Vote on the games that you think are the best.
I will say to that, Pencil, if you can, find a way to play the original on PS3 at some point in your life.
I have no reference for that. Anyway.
That's all I got, folks.
Yeah, I got nothing. Let's see here. Moving on to the next round. Pokemon versus Elder Scrolls. How you feeling on this one, Will?
It's got to be Elder Scrolls, man. I mean, Pokemon's popular, but not as popular.
Well, let's find out, shall we?
It better
Pokemon
not be.
decimates Elder
Oh
Scrolls.
my god! I was just gonna say, I better not be eating my foot here in 2 seconds.
72% to 28% going to
my
Pokemon. That is a landslide.
Dude, this needs to be redone. This needs to be redone. And you put hashtag Vampire Lord in there. How dare you, sir? Fuck. Honestly, man, this one makes me a little bit butthurt. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure. I mean, you know, I get it, but
please, Elder, I cry.
It's also, you know, it's Pokemon, and it's like this juggernaut in the video game industry. So,
guess so, man.
Let's see here. Moving on to the next match: Final Fantasy versus Half-Life. Speaking of butthurt, well, it's about to happen to me.
Ooh. Yeah, Final Fantasy all day.
Yeah. 66.7% to Final Fantasy, Half-Life 33.3%.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, didn't Final Fantasy 24 come out today? Because if it did, I didn't pre-order it.
Final Fantasy 24 Lightning Drop Failsafe.
Dude, can you imagine if like the pre-order of 7 Remake came with like a weird like cloud hair wig thing?
Oh god.
You could just put it on, you're like, dude, check me out.
Oh my god. I gotta
made of like PVC or something.
Drop Failsafe. I gotta write this down for the episode title. I want to talk to you about Final Fantasy later on in the show. Don't let me forget. I'm actually wearing a Cloud shirt at the moment. So,
I see his hair already.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's without standing up in front of the camera. It's a pretty cool shirt, I guess. Let's move on to the next one. So we got Pokemon versus Final Fantasy in the next round. How you feeling about that?
I'm gonna say Final Fantasy again.
Yeah, you know, I think this really could go either way. I know I've said that a bunch of times, but I would be surprised to see either one of these franchises dominate. Both of them have such a rich history with their fan bases, and there's a lot of crossover, I think, with Pokemon fans and Final Fantasy fans. So this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I guess I'm living under a rock when it comes to Pokemon, man. I just like what are people playing? Is there a new one out currently, or?
There came out with one for the Switch. I want to say 2019, maybe.
Okay.
Or I don't think it was 2020. I'm not sure.
Do people still play Go?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Such a weak response. I was really expecting like a classic, like educated Drew response, and I didn't get it this time.
Pencil Burn says yes, I play Go. It's crazy.
Okay.
I stopped playing Go when it stopped tracking my footsteps properly. You know that really.
Didn't people get into like accidents with that? Like they were walking into like fences and dumb shit.
Totally.
I bet you somebody died. Not that that's a good thing, but I bet you somebody did.
I think there's a good chance. It's the limited amount of time I had with it, I enjoyed. It was fun. But like most mobile games, you play them for a while and then you never touch them again. And it was just like, I used to go for a walk around, at one of my previous jobs. We had this like big loop around a nearby building where you could basically walk. I want to say it was like a quarter mile or half a mile. So I would go and do that a couple times in my lunch break. And, while I was doing, I'd be playing Pokemon Go and I'd try to hatch these eggs or whatever, or these Pokeballs, whatever the fuck they are. I don't even know. Mm-hmm. And, the way the GPS worked at the time was it wasn't consistently following you around the track. So if I'm walking in a loop, it wasn't counting all of my steps as part of that mileage. It would ping me and mark a spot, and then it would ping me again maybe 5 or 6 minutes later and draw a line between the two pings. So unless you're walking in a straight line, you're not getting the proper mileage. So I would often be pinged at one part of the track, and then on the other side of the loop, I'd get pinged again, and it would just draw a line between the two, and it's like maybe 1,000 feet. It wasn't It wasn't right. It was screwing me out of hatching my Pokemon, and that made me very angry. Will,
hatching your eggs or Pokeballs or whatever.
Yeah. So when I figured that out, I just uninstalled it. I was like, fuck this, fuck this game.
Classic Drew.
Yeah,
I'm uninstalling the game. Period.
Yeah, that's my rage.
You know what this reminds me of is like getting lost in New York City and you're trying to use your phone as a GPS, but you're in like walk mode. It's the worst.
It really is. And if you're like between like two particularly tall buildings, you ain't getting shit.
Yep. You're like, fuck it, let's just get pizza here. Fuck Joe's Pizza. I don't know where it is because I can't make it there. I can't do this anymore.
Oh, poor Joe's Pizza.
That's kind of a real story. I'll
get
into that maybe later in the show.
Oh, yeah. You'll have to fill us in. I'd love to hear it. All right, let's move on. So, looking at the Northern bracket in its entirety, we have Demon's Souls against Halo, and we have Pokemon versus Final Fantasy. This is when it's starting to get like really tough, I think, man. We got some good choices here, and we are making our way closer to the finals. So, Sweet 16, this is a hell of a lineup.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be this kind of breakneck.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised too. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the South, shall we? We got Doom versus Splinter Cell, Dead Space versus Battlefield, The Witcher versus Super Mario, and Dragon Quest versus Metal Gear Solid. I know some of these games are your favorites, but let's start out with Splinter Cell and Doom, shall we? See how that's going. Any predictions on this one?
Doom, easily. Splinter Cell, like we said last time, it hasn't had any good traction lately.
Right.
And I think Doom has. So I think this one's kind of a no-brainer.
Well, let's take a look. Doom with the rip and tear. 69.2% for Doom. Splinter Cell, 30.8%. Yeah, I mean, the Doom franchise is firing on all cylinders right now. Splinter Cell, I would love to see a new Splinter Cell. In fact, I think Killer Sirach was just saying that he was waiting for the Ubisoft to drop a reveal for a new Splinter Cell, and he's demanding a recount. I'm sorry, sir. Dominion voting services have certified these votes. So,
hey, look, man, I'd love to see a new Splinter Cell, PS5 exclusive. Just something really, really huge. But patience, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when the time is right. I don't know if they'll ever get Michael Ironside to play Sam Fisher again, but. It was wonderful.
I didn't realize that's who played him. Was that like mocap and voice or just voice?
Just voice. Okay. He did it for most of the games. I think the last one was somebody different, but I haven't played it, so I couldn't tell you for sure. All right, let's take a look. Dead Space versus Battlefield. What do you think?
I think with our fans, they would vote Dead Space. Personally, Battlefield, I think, would win because it's more popular. This one's tough, man. I'm going to say Battlefield.
Wow. Dead Space taking the win on this one, 63.6% to Battlefield's 36.4%.
See, I'm not entirely surprised here.
This has got to be a little bit heartbreaking for you, though.
A little bit, yeah. I think it's a strong franchise, but it's cool to see that there's a lot of fans that are pushing for Dead Space still, because I mean we're talking 3 games.
Yeah.
Battlefield has like 52, so I mean that says a lot.
It's not a very expansive franchise, Dead Space. I mean they did an anime, they did some comics, there are a couple other things that they did, but there's only been 3 main entries in the gaming franchise. Whereas Battlefield obviously has this just gigantic, massive catalog with its name on it. Maybe it's too much. I don't know. I think there's something there when you leave the fans wanting, But
well, I mean, let me ask you this: how was 3? You don't have to give me like an in-depth review, but did you play 3?
I didn't. I bought it and I didn't because I had fucked myself in the Dead Space 2 playthrough and saved over a spot where I couldn't proceed. Basically, I ran out of ammo. I saved my game thinking that there would be more ammo up ahead, and there wasn't. And I'm constantly being chased by this regenerative monster. So my plan is to replay through Dead Space 2 at some point, maybe in October, because I played the first one this past October. And once I can play through Dead Space 2 in its entirety, I'm intending on going back and playing through Dead Space 3 for the first time.
That's so crazy to think that a modern game, you could actually potentially fuck your save up where you cannot get out of a situation.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those situations where I really should have had more than one save. I've never made that mistake since. And it's heartbreaking. But, those were the types of games that were just on that bubble of holding your hand too much and not enough, I think. And Dead Space 2 is a challenging game, as incredible as it was, it did make you work for it. And I just fucked up. That's what it comes down to,
That's fair. I agree with Pencil Burn here too. It is crazy how good Dead Space 1 looks. We talked about it, I think, on the last show or a previous show.
Yeah.
Not only is the atmosphere incredible, but even the visuals still look quite stunning to this day.
Killer Sirach comments, if I've learned anything from Will, is that you play the latest entry in the franchise first, then you work your way back.
That's certainly the case sometimes. I can't disagree with that.
Just piece it all together as you go. All right, so let's take a look at the updated brackets here. We have Doom versus Dead Space. Whew! This is a tough one. I think this is going to be really challenging for most people to vote on. I know where my allegiance lies. As much as I love Dead Space, I was a Doom guy first. But, I don't know, man. I don't know if Doom guy can rip and tear Isaac Clarke.
Yeah, he'll just stomp him. He'll stomp him. Look, man, this is a tough matchup because with the results of Dead Space versus Battlefield, anything could happen. And I think Joe is going to figure out a way to vote more than once. And, he's going to potentially get Dead Space to win.
He's going to use Bree's account and vote twice there.
Yeah, log in again, goddammit. Use this email.
Change your IP address.
He's unplugging the modem, unplugging it back in.
Oh, God.
Oh, that is too funny. He's creating just dumb emails Dead Space 1 at gmail.com.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's too funny.
All right, so now moving on to the next matchup, The Witcher versus Super Mario. What do you think, man?
I mean, my gut wants to say The Witcher, but Super Mario, hey, what do you have to say there? Not much, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say The Witcher. I gotta go with the gut.
It's not pretty, my friend.
Hey, I'm not gonna complain.
Let's see.
Oh,
here.
Jesus.
Super Mario defeats The Witcher 83.9% to 16.1%.
Dude, I am flabbergasted, and I never use that word.
That is a lovely word, but you're right. I've never heard you use it. I expected Super Mario to pick up the win, but I never expected it to be such a dominant force.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of The Witcher. I didn't really get into what I played of 2 and even what I played of 3, but just given its popularity, I'm just so stunned that such a classic game or franchise such as Super Mario would win. It's not that surprising, but the power behind The Witcher is so strong that it still does shock me.
Yeah. In the chat, Epic Outro notes that The Witcher just had his balls ripped off.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Let's see here. So, taking a look at the lineup here, we now have Dragon Quest, the seminal RPG, taking on Metal Gear Solid. How you feeling about that?
MGS, baby.
Well, let's take a look. Metal Gear Solid taking the win, 65.2% to 34.8%. That was a solid victory for Solid Snake.
No puns. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I will say, Pencil Burn, I think your brother told me once, many years ago, that you own a copy of the very rare MGS4 art book. If this is true, you can mail it to my address, and I will get that address exchanged, taken care of later. For free. I want the shipping included and everything. So you're just going to pay for the shipping. You're going to ship it to me. You're going to abandon the book. You're going to let me have it. And I promise I will take good care of it. But I think it's in better hands with me.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just kidding, man. That book is super rare. And if you do not know that, please listen to me. Do not ever get rid of that book.
Mm-hmm. Wonder what makes it so rare. Like, is it just not something they did a lot of production of? Or?
Yeah, I think it was low production. I don't think they did a ton of them. And for whatever reason, it just is. Like, I tried to pick it up years ago. And every time I check, which is like once a year, it's always like, $400 or $500. And there's like one copy on eBay. So I can't.
Let me ask you a hypothetical. Let's get down to the nitty gritty for a second. If we can just do a little detour here. I want to change camera angles so bad, but it's going to fuck up the slideshow. So I'm going to leave it the way it is.
Do it.
If you had $500, Will,
would
you rather have that art book or a PS5?
PS5.
That's pretty definitive, man. That was quick. Are you sure?
That was quick.
Are you sure?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. If I had, okay, I'll give you two scenarios. If I had a PS5 and I had $500 of just expendable money, I would probably buy it. But I don't have a PS5 and I want one. So I want one real bad. Jesus Christ, I just way to make myself sound 10. But it's true. I would get a PS5 and I do have a digital copy of that art book that I got from that website that I showed you like a month ago.
So, Epic Outro brings up a good point. Would you rather have the book or Troy Baker plugging the podcast?
That's an interesting one.
For $500.
Oh yeah, because it is 500. In my head, I heard a voice say Troy Baker could go fuck himself. Because I still think it's kind of expensive.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't
love
listen.
You, Troy, man. If he listens to this, we love you, man. But goddamn, dude, your boys don't have 500 to just be forking up for that. We have wives, man. We have wives. We have lives. We have groceries to buy. Every time I go to Stop and Shop, dude, it's like $500 for like 2 items.
Jeez, man. What kind of podcast for another podcast?
Yeah. Obviously.
But that shit is expensive. You're right.
I mean, the easiest way to put it is here, Dave. I would say I'd still like Troy Baker to do that for sure.
Yes.
I think that would be worth the money over the art book because that's something that I would remember for a very long time. And the art book, eventually would just get thrown out the older I get. But yeah, put it simply, if I had $500 laying around, or I found 500 on the ground, and I had everything else taken care of in my life, then I would probably buy it. Because I like analog. I want something to hold. I want to put it in a shelf and cherish it and take it out on a Sunday afternoon when it's raining, and be the only one looking at it in my hands. God damn it.
I can completely relate to that, man. Completely.
Yeah. And my love for art books.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's move on. We'll stay back into the March Madness realm here. So, moving into the next round, Super Mario is going to take on Metal Gear Solid. Solid Snake versus Yoshi. What do you think, man?
Another tough one, man. Another tough one. My heart's telling me Metal Gear, but my gut's telling me Mario.
I think Mario has a chance to go all the way. Like I have a feeling
100%.
I have a feeling this is going to be like just a matchup of Nintendo properties at the end.
Yeah, I mean, this is heating up, man. I mean, talk about bracket busters. Not to sound like Stephen A. Smith here, but I mean, dang, this is going to be something special.
Well, let's take a look and see at the what the full bracket looks like for the South. Doom versus Dead Space and Super Mario versus Metal Gear Solid. So you can kind of get an idea of some potential matchups here. Seeing on who goes forward, Doom versus Super Mario or Dead Space versus Metal Gear Solid. It really could go anyway. Kind of curious to see where the votes fall on this one.
Likewise.
All right, let's head on over to the East. So we got Legend of Zelda versus Gears of War, Resident Evil versus Uncharted, Mega Man versus Mario Kart, Fallout versus Super Smash Brothers. Let's take a look at the first matchup. Legend of Zelda versus Gears of War.
Tough matchups, man. Once again.
Well, go ahead, man.
I was just going to say my prediction is going to be Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I was leaning towards as well, too. As much as the Gears of War franchise is is solid. However, this one was also a complete runaway. Legend of Zelda took it at 87.5%. Gears of War, 12.5%. Kind of disappointing. I thought more people would turn up for Marcus Phoenix, but he just got wrecked.
He did. I didn't expect it to be that low.
No, I didn't expect Link to curb stomp him.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, Breath of the Wild just changed everything. Like, people are still playing that game. They're still talking about it.
Yeah.
It's amazing what that game has done for the franchise.
You're absolutely right. I agree 100%. Let's take a look at the next one. Moving on, we have Resident Evil taking on Uncharted. Two beloved franchises. Any thoughts on this one, Will?
I do have thoughts. Again, my heart tells me Uncharted. My heart is rooting for Mr. Drake. But with our community, I'm going to say Resident Evil.
Let's take a look, shall we? Resident Evil, 63.3%. Uncharted's 36.7%. Resident Evil moves on to the next round. I know Epic Outro will be very happy with this one. But the rest of the world, well, could go either way, I suppose. I'm not surprised. I mean, quite frankly, it just doesn't surprise me one bit, especially considering there's a new Resident Evil right around the corner.
I got something for you, Dave. The save room music in RE4. Enough said.
I don't know anything about that.
He will know.
Oh, I know he will. I know he will. So the next matchup is going to be The Legend of Zelda versus Resident Evil. That is going to be another slobber knocker.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a real word, Will. Shut up.
I just refuse to believe it.
I'm going to send you videos of Jim Ross yelling at the top of his lungs during some great wrestling matches.
Zelda all day.
All right, so next match, Mega Man versus Mario Kart. Any thoughts here?
This one's tough. I'm going to say community-wise, Mega Man. Popularity-wise, Kart.
Let's take a look at the results. Much closer than the last couple matches here. Mario Kart taking the win, 63.6% to Mega Man's 36.4%. I personally thought Mega Man was going to take the win here. I'm surprised. I understand that Mario Kart has more public appeal, but I felt like with our audience, Mega Man would kind of be that hardcore gamer, you know? Just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, Mega Man is not really that accessible.
No, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Every time I play Mega Man, I want to like throw my controller. But
yeah, like your aunt, your weird aunt who eats like sun-made raisins can play Mario Kart any day of the week.
We actually have a box of sun-made raisins in the house right now.
No.
We made cinnamon raisin bagels over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So
at least you used them for that, and you weren't just like eating them just on the regs.
Yeah. No, we cooked with them. They came out great, by the way.
Remember those like little boxes you'd get at school? They were like yay big, and they had that little tab, and if you had them, like all the kids were like, "Ew, you get raisins."
Yeah.
And they were just like chomping down on yodels, because back then, like no one knew that shit was terrible for you.
Vortex says every time you lose a Mario Kart, it makes you throw your controller too. That is correct. Man,
I don't know if I've thrown one, but I've definitely thought about it.
Nintendo has this habit of making controllers that are easily chuckable. Like you can put a nice little spin on them. Think about it. You get the Joy-Con. It's like you could hold it in one hand and you could just like put a little spin on it with your trigger finger and just across the room. Oh yeah. You know? I
think we joked around about the condom that they created to put over that thing. Remember that fucking like
for the Wiimote, yeah.
Yeah,
I have
to do that.
I have a few of those. Just because people were literally putting the things through their TVs.
Probably more out of like, I wouldn't say out of anger, probably just out of what do you call it?
Stupidity.
Yeah, stupidity and carelessness.
Carelessness is the word.
Because they weren't using that strap, and I'm pretty sure they had the strap initially, but whatever. They put a fucking condom on it, and they called it a day.
Yeah. It's like, child-proofing your coffee table with tennis balls.
Oh my God, people do that?
Yeah. Well,
like the corners of the table? So like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or I mean,
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that.
I mean, there's other ways to do it, but that is one of the ways.
Huh. Interesting.
Mm.
You learn something new every day, Drew.
I am a wealth of useless knowledge.
I blame Reddit.
Yep.
Not just for you, but for anybody.
Yeah, no, that's accurate.
With that kind of knowledge.
Let's see here. Moving on. Fallout takes on Super Smash Brothers. What are you thinking here?
Smash. Fallout is not doing well, and I think that's enough to keep it out.
Yeah, I mean, I would be inclined to agree. Smash Brothers is still adding characters to their latest release, which is absurd. I don't know how many characters they're up to, but it's some ridiculous goddamn number.
It's got to be.
But this is actually a pretty close match. Super Smash Brothers does take the win, 56.5%. Fallout coming up very close, 43.5%. Surprising.
I wonder if Smash has as many characters as Marvel vs. Capcom at this point.
Probably.
Two, by the way, not one, two.
Yeah, I would venture a guess that it's pretty close.
I never liked that globe character selection screen. It's cool, but I know it's like iconic at this point, and I can still think about it to this day, but I always struggled looking at those tiny little windows of like who I was choosing. But of course, they show up on the bottom left, so it is what it is. But
yeah, it was not a good character select. And I'm sorry, the music in that game sucked too.
I wasn't a huge fan. I liked one in terms of the character selection screen because it's just a basic like rectangular grid.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, that's a different topic.
Yeah, we should do an episode on character select screens.
We could easily do that.
Yeah. Which ones were your favorites and such? Yeah, I think we should do that.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right, so for next week, we're looking at Mario Kart versus Super Smash Brothers. Kind of interesting now. We're getting down to the wire, Nintendo versus Nintendo. But this is where like the true grit of a franchise comes into play. What are you thinking?
Man, this is tough. Smash.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much as I hate to say that because I really don't like that franchise.
Yeah, I think you're right, though.
It's going to win. Kart or Mario Kart can really only go so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're stuck at 8 right now, too. I don't know if they've really done much with it. Is it timeless? 100%. But people do like more content, and I don't think that we're getting that right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think if they were going to do anything, it would just be like more tracks, DLC. But they've had that opportunity, and they haven't done it, so...
No, they haven't. I think they know what's there is not broken, so they're not trying to tamper with it, and I can respect that.
Totally. Let's take a look then. East, we have for next week, The Legend of Zelda versus Resident Evil, Mario Kart versus Super Smash Brothers. So some interesting possibilities here. Resident Evil could take on Mario Kart. Legend of Zelda could take on Smash. Looking forward to seeing how this all shakes down.
Oh, totally, man. I mean, I really didn't expect it to be this down to the wire with some really heavy hitters, but it's good to see.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the West, our final bracket for the evening. The Last of Us against Sonic the Hedgehog, Metroid versus Deus Ex, Star Fox versus Street Fighter, and Castlevania versus Assassin's Creed. So
these are interesting.
These are very interesting matchups, and they're kind of all over the place. So let's see how it shakes out. And we'll start out with The Last of Us versus Sonic the Hedgehog. Any thoughts here?
Is that a real question? I mean, I'm just being sarcastic, but I mean, Last of Us. I'm speechless. I mean, Sonic is great. It was great in like '93. But we're in 2021, and Last of Us is a masterpiece. So.
Well, I would have to agree with you, but I also believe you may be underestimating the power of Sonic the Hedgehog fans. They are devout in a terrifying way sometimes. But let's see how the votes shook out. Very close.
As terrifying as Sonic's original teeth in the movie that they had to change. Remember that shit?
Oh God, I do. I do. But this is a very close matchup. One of the closest ones we had. Sonic the Hedgehog taking the win, 52 to 48%.
Wait, is this real?
This is real life.
What am I seeing? This is the most shocking bracket I've seen yet.
This one, this was pretty shocking for me too.
I am genuinely disappointed. As much as I've avoided Last of Us 2, man, who would have thunk? I can accept this. Sonic is a classic. Fuck you, Dave. You wanted Joel to win.
I think we all wanted Joel to win, but much like in the game,
Gotta die, dude.
Joel has been put out to pasture.
He's got to die with one of those Molotov cocktails.
Let's take a look here. Metroid versus Deus Ex for the next round.
That's fucking Vinci's fault.
Yeah, Vinci, you're the one that caused this problem. Lost Monkey says he never played Last of Us, so he voted for Sonic. Yeah, this is definitely his fault. All right. Metroid versus Deus Ex.
Sorry, I actually just got distracted. Dave, what do you mean by spoilers?
Oh,
did I miss something?
I said something about Joel's fate. I think he's yelling at me for that.
Oh, it must have gone over my head.
Yeah.
Okay. Metroid's gonna win. I want Deus Ex to win for the soundtracks alone.
Metroid won 74.2% to Deus Ex's 25.8%. By the way, don't sleep on the soundtracks of Metroid. They are quite good.
I will keep that in mind. Dude, how many people do you think actually realize that Samus is female?
Now? Everybody.
But before?
Before? Yeah, I think that was a shock back in the day.
So you think that you are positive that at this point everybody knows?
Yeah.
Or most people.
I think it's fairly clear because it's Samus is such a frequently cosplayed character at this point. So,
that's a good point.
And they're not the women that are cosplaying her aren't just doing it in the armor either. Like they're doing it in the Zero suit, and there's all different variations.
That is true.
So
I've seen a couple of those.
Yep. So let's take a look here. Next round, we got Sonic the Hedgehog versus Metroid. This is going to be a tough one. I hate to think that Sonic might advance here because Metroid is one of my favorite franchises, but there's a possibility this could go Sonic's direction again.
If it does, I will just genuinely be, I don't know, man, bamboozled.
Bamboozled?
I think Lauren uses that sometimes.
Does she?
No, she uses hoodwinked.
Hoodwinked? That's a good word.
Yeah. It is kind of a good word.
Well, let's take a look at the next hoodwinked matchup here. Star Fox.
Sounds like something that Danny Tanner would say.
You talking Full House or something?
Yeah.
What the actual fuck, man?
You generally seem disappointed that I brought up Danny Tanner.
Like, who the hell does that? Like, nobody watches that show. That show sucks.
No one should be playing Sonic, goddammit. I'm fucking pissed.
Oh, God.
I'm not really. I have to accept it. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Star Fox versus Street Fighter.
I mean, honestly, again, community-wise, Star Fox.
Yeah.
I think it's a stronger franchise. Street Fighter, I'd love to, see it make it to the end. I just don't know if it will.
Well, let's take a look. Street Fighter takes the win here, 64.3% to Star Fox's 35.7%.
Wow.
I actually got yelled at for using Slippy Toad in this tweet by somebody that I've never spoken to before. So that was weird. Yeah. Somebody didn't approve there. I guess there was another more suited character for the Star Fox franchise, which I was not aware of. But anyway, Street Fighter does carry on here. Epic Outro is asking if Animal Crossing or The Sims are still in the running. His wife wants to know. Unfortunately, no. They were both eliminated in round 1. So, sorry about that. Let's see here. So, let's take a look. Next, we got Castlevania versus Assassin's Creed. What are you thinking?
I mean, this one's pretty easy. I think Assassin's Creed is insanely popular. So I think it's going to win for that reason alone. I'd like to see Castlevania win, just to kind of shake things up a little bit.
Castlevania shook things up, Will.
Oh, okay.
57.7% to Assassin's Creed. 42.3%. Yeah, I was surprised, very surprised it went this way. Castlevania is in need of some new blood, I would say, as
yes,
in vampires and punny and all that stuff. But yeah, it's been a while since we've seen a good Castlevania game. It's been a while since we've had a new one. Konami seems to be relying on releasing collections at this point, so it's a little disappointing to see the franchise somewhat dormant when Assassin's Creed is firing on all cylinders and arguably putting out some tremendous games right now. But I think the lineage of Castlevania has surpassed the lineage of Assassin's Creed at this point.
They just did some odd stuff with those later games, like Lords of Shadow 2, I believe. You play as Dracula.
Yes.
And you can actually transform into like a rat or something. And it was just odd. And I remember that game just came out, and I'm pretty sure it just fell flat on its face. So it's a shame because Lords of Shadow 2 or Lords of Shadow 1 had some promising features.
I haven't played those particular Castlevanias. I was more into that. Those are 3D Castlevanias, right?
Yes.
So my expertise lies more with the 2D side, with the Game Boy Advance games and the Nintendo DS games, and of course the the originals. Prior to that, Rondo of Blood on the TurboGrafx and Castlevania 1 and 2. So I've always been a fan of that style. I've never really given the 3D ones a chance. I should check them out sometime.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, from what I played of the first one, at least.
So let's take a look at the last matchup for the night. We have Street Fighter versus Castlevania next week. This could be tough. I expect to see Street Fighter go on forward, though.
I think so. It's probably safe to say.
Yeah. So, looking at the Western bracket in total, we have Sonic the Hedgehog versus Metroid, Street Fighter versus Castlevania for next week. Yeah, it's going to be a doozy. We got some strong matchups here. I will be on pins and needles waiting to see who takes these wins.
I know. I think that's a good way of explaining it.
So, looking at the full bracket up to date, again, maybe a little bit small on your screen. We apologize, but check out our website later on. We will have this bracket posted. You can print out a copy of your own, fill it out up to a certain point, and hopefully your picks will go on to the Final Four and then ultimately the championships.
So folks can, just so we're clear, folks can fax this. They can also print it and then scan it back to us as well if they have a scanner at home.
And they can fax it back.
Okay.
So,
just scan it and fax it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Also, folks, you can mail it. You just need a postage that we will not pay for.
Oh, goodness.
And you can use like a little wax seal.
I always wanted one of those.
Dude, I still want one. And a quill pen. Like one of those little green like banker's lamps.
Is your handwriting nice enough to warrant a quill pen, though?
I will say, and this is me tooting my own horn, which I very rarely do. I have very, very good handwriting.
Oh. Well, my handwriting's shit, so...
It is shit.
Thank you.
It is shit. Well, at least from some of the stuff I've seen.
No, it's shit. Total shit.
Chicken scratch, as they say.
We should get... Pencil Burn is dropping some awesome ideas here. We should do a wax seal of our logo.
That is not a bad idea.
Right? Let's look into that. That might be worth doing. I don't know what that would cost, but I would totally send everybody mail to do that.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
you have to get like hot wax and put it in like a little container, right? And you just take like the little stamp and just like sear it on there.
Something like that. Yeah, I think you like get a candle, you light it, and then you melt the wax over the candle and you let it drip onto the envelope, and then you stamp it with with the logo.
Yeah, you do a couple of drips.
I guess.
Wax drips, and then boom, catch it before it dries up.
Right. All right, so let's see here. What else do we have anything else for today, Will? We're just kind of calling it.
I don't know, man.
Oh, yeah, actually I did have something that I wanted to ask you. And actually I want to ask the WDGR audience as well too. So for those of you that are in the Twitch chat, love to see some real-time feedback on this. For those of you that are listening to the podcast on the Wednesday download. Swing on by our Discord room, hit me up on Twitter, let me know what you think, right? So right now, Will, I'm in between games. I'm finishing up playing Streets of Rage 2 at the moment. I'm actually going to be guesting on Patrick and James's podcast very shortly, and we're going to be covering Streets of Rage 2. Retrospective's podcast, rspodcast.net. Check those guys out. They're awesome. I think we're recording on Saturday. So I've been playing that, but I'm mostly in between games right now, and I'm trying to think about what I want to play next. So I've got some options, and I need your help kind of whittling it down.
Sure.
I could try to finish up Horizon Zero Dawn. I could play God of War. I could play Final Fantasy VII Remake. Or I could play Breath of the Wild.
Talk about bangers, huh?
Those are my 4 choices. That's where I'm going next. I'm going to step away from the Xbox, and I'm gonna focus on one of those games next.
Okay, we already got pencil burn with 2 picks.
Pencil
He's
burn.
saying, "Oh no," and you should be saying that because you only have 1. Okay, here's what my gut tells me: you should finish Horizon and then move on to one of those AAAs. But it's deciding on which one to play is going to be really hard because those are all really good games.
So let's keep Horizon out of the conversation for now, right?
Okay.
You don't have any experience with Breath of the Wild, right? It's just God of War and Final Fantasy. You do?
I do. And ironically, I was playing it on the Wii U.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And I was playing it on the Wii U, like, pad. Like, the actual, like...
Yeah.
Whatever you fucking call it. I don't know if they had a name for it, but...
Giant thing.
Giant thing with a shit screen. I was playing it on that, which is, like, the worst way you could play this game. And I played... I don't know, at least like 6-7 hours of it.
So what were your thoughts on that? Like, what was there anything specific that took you away from the game, or was it just other stuff that was more attractive to you?
I'm glad you're bringing this up because I think that based on our sort of fear and sort of overwhelming thoughts on giant open world games, I would say avoid Breath of the Wild because that's kind of why I stopped because there was just too many things to do and I didn't really know where to go and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this, which is kind of a personal problem. But
right.
I think that you might enjoy it, but it's hard to say because I know you've struggled with that franchise in terms of choosing the right one and finding one that you like. God of War, I think, is a great place to go because it's more accessible. Final Fantasy VII, you're running into issues of potentially not liking that combat system because you already played the demo.
Right.
So I think your safest bet would be God of War, and then your ones that you're going to have to think about more are Breath of the Wild and, oh my God.
Final Fantasy, sorry. So, I mean, with Final Fantasy, like now that the game is free for PSN subscribers, I'm more willing to invest the time required to get to the point where the battle system starts to make sense. I feel like the demo cut off just before that happened.
It did. It absolutely did.
So I want to at least get past that part of the demo, maybe an hour or 2 further beyond that.
Yes, I think I recommended that you play like 5 hours before you actually call it quits, if at all.
Right.
And I would still, heed that advice.
The thing that concerns me with all of these games is the length of them.
Yes.
Now, my understanding is Final Fantasy VII and Gears of War, roughly around the same 30 to 40 hours, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking about, or if you're going to look at a game that is shorter in length, God of War is going to set you back about, I'd say 20, 25 tops. But yeah, Breath of the Wild, Final Fantasy VII, I mean, those are FF7 at a minimum is going to be 40.
Okay.
And then Breath of the Wild, I would imagine, is nearing into like 50, 60.
Interesting. Yeah, like it kind of scares me just thinking about putting 60 hours into a game. That's
frightening.
It's been a long time since I've done that, and I've been jumping around through different games on my Series X since I got it. I've played some longer games, I've played some shorter games, and it's been a lot of fun, sampling a bunch of different things with the Game Pass. But, just like I look at the shelf and I see those PlayStation games just kind of sitting there collecting dust. And, God of War, I bought 2018, I want to say, and it's been sitting there ever since.
I think that was the year it came out, right?
Well, then it was the following year, if that was the case. No, it had to have been 2018.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I got it for like $10. That's all I know. It was a Black Friday deal. It was like $10 or $20. It was Black Friday. It had to have been 2018 because it definitely wasn't like so close to COVID when I got that game. So it wasn't 2019 for sure. It had to have been 2018. Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, I got Breath of the Wild in 2019 as a Christmas gift. So that's been just kind of sitting there as well, too. So, Game Pass is great and all, but I need to play some games that I've been sitting on for literal years.
Yeah. No, it feels good to do that. I mean, look what happened with Uncharted 4.
Mm-hmm. It's a prime example.
Ended up being, a huge game for me and was literally sitting inside of an ottoman for years. And it was like a limited collection, too, which was just totally obnoxious.
Yeah. Wait, so tell me about this collection. I don't think you talked about that.
Oh, yeah. So, I had that other story to tell, too, if we have time, about New York City.
Yeah,
and pizza. Glad I remembered that. So with Uncharted 4, that's back when I was still just like splurging on all these like limited collector's editions at GameStop and stuff because I just didn't care and I was irresponsible. So I remember walking in there once and or one day like literally just scoping out games, and I saw that somebody had not picked up their limited copy of Uncharted 4. So it was the one that came with like this giant statue of Nathan Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was super cocky about it too. I walked up, I was like, let me guess, nobody picked that one up? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I'll take it. And I didn't even know if I had the money at the time. I just put it on like a credit card or something stupid.
Yeah.
And I picked it up, brought it home. I was like, where the fuck did I do that? Like in the car in the parking lot. Like I didn't even get home before I came to that realization. I was like, whatever. It was only like 100. And I got home and I had the Nathan Drake statue, which I eventually sold, I think for like the same price. And I have a limited steel book case, which I'm glad that I do have because I love the game. So now I'll never get rid of that.
Yeah.
But that is my limited copy, and it came with a bunch of random Naughty Dog stickers that I'll never use.
I wish they would just stop including stickers and things.
I actually took them out and I said out loud, like, what am I going to do with these?
Yeah.
Like, I would never put those on the back of my car. I would never put them, like, I don't know, on my desk or whatever. And call me old, but, like, I don't know, man. I just wouldn't stick that anywhere in my room or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess people put them on their laptops and stuff, or,
If I worked at Naughty Dog, it would make sense.
Sure. Or you could put it on, like, a notebook. Epic Outro is summing this up quite nicely. Stickers are bullshit. I agree, man. I got stickers with my Command & Conquer thing. I got stickers from almost every special edition I've gotten recently has come with a sticker.
I'll ship them to you for free, Killer Sirach.
So Killer Sirach is making deals on the down low for stickers. Wow. Will and Drew's sticker revolution.
Yeah, I know, right? So you ready for this New York City pizza story?
Yeah, man. Tell me about the pizza.
I mean, I could try and make it entertaining. I don't know if it will be in the end, but here we go. So when I made that comment about getting lost in New York City with a phone, it's because one day Laura and I actually took a trip to New York City just completely random. We had no plans on doing anything besides just walking around and being tourists and experiencing, St. Patrick's Cathedral and Times Square and all that kind of, staple NYC stuff, getting pizza on a paper plate, wax paper, all that. Man. And I remember that day, I think I texted Vic and he's like, oh, dude, you got to check out Joe's Pizza. I was like, it's literally just called Joe's Pizza. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's like legendary. So at one point we tried to find it. I took out my phone and I used the, I think it was Waze or whatever built-in GPS app that I had at the time. and I put it into like walk mode, which most people probably don't do because you're generally driving. So I put it in walk mode, and it was literally just getting us more and more lost everywhere we went. So it was probably something to do with what you said, like the skyscrapers, the buildings interfering with signals, everybody else doing the same thing, Ubers and taxi drivers like just connected on all kinds of services. So it got to the point where we were just starving, and I was like, this is fucking bullshit. We're not going to Joe's Pizza. We're going to this place right here. And I literally like looked to the left because in New York City, if folks you haven't been, there's pizza stores or shops rather, like literally every few minutes, it seems like. And we just turned to the left, and there was a place that looked kind of seedy, but we're like, whatever, we're here for pizza, we're not here to dine. And we got our delicious heart attack grease cheese pizza dripping off the wax paper and the paper plate.
Yeah.
And that's what you get in New York City, and it's worth it.
So to kind of piggyback off of your Joe's Pizza story here, me and a couple of my buddies, Mike and Vin, went out to Brooklyn for a band. Went to like this dive bar in Brooklyn to see this band that Mike likes. Name of the band is Annika. Anaka. They're like a heavy metal band. They're really cool dudes too, very friendly, and they've done quite a few albums, and Mike's a huge fan of theirs, right? So we've had Mike on the show. He's visually impaired, so driving is an issue for him. So he reached out to me and Vin and was like, come on guys, let's go make a road trip out of it. He had this car he was working on, and was like, let's take the car, let's hit the road, let's go see Annika, get some beers, and head home, right? So we jump in the car, and it's this old 90s Mustang, and we drive down to Brooklyn in it and everything. We get to the bar, and we're chatting with the guys from the band. This is like way early in the night, and we're like, oh, hey, where's a good spot to get some food around here? And he walks us outside, and he goes like this. He points down the street, and he goes, you see that place down there? It's called Pizza Wagon. Go to Pizza Wagon. And we're like, Pizza Wagon? He's like, Pizza Wagon. And we went to Pizza Wagon. Pizza Wagon was fucking great, man.
Jesus Christ. Don't you love that, man?
It was just like this, this place had like 4 tables. It served their drinks in the red plastic cups that you get from the old Italian restaurants. The entire wall was floor to ceiling pizza boxes, because all they're doing is making pizza, sending them out the door, making pizza, sending them out the door. And I kid you not, there was this guy that kept coming in peddling money for crack. While we're eating
hysterical. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But Pizza Wagon was legit, dude. And if we're ever in Brooklyn again, Pizza Wagon's a good spot to go to. Just your old school New York slice, no fucking frills. You fold it, you eat it.
No fluff, kid.
No fluff.
You get in, you get out.
Get in, you get out.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the shittiest places, right? That kind of have like, steel chairs with pizza crumbs on there because they don't want you sitting there. Countertop falling apart with more pizza crumbs and napkins and those like little metal dispensers.
New York pizza wrap.
You're like, I probably shouldn't stay here. Let me just get this to go. And you eat it outside in some shit New York City weather, and you move on.
Yep.
But it's worth it. But I gotta love those, or you have to love those honest sort of directions and sort of suggestions where somebody's like, you want to go to Joe's Bagels and get the plain bagel with butter on it, nothing else, don't get all that fancy shit. And you're like, dude, that sounds really boring. I'm gonna get like the most complex bagel possible. Right. You take that person's advice and you thank him later. In your mind.
Exactly.
Like, damn, he was right about that plain bagel with butter on it.
Yeah, you don't fuck with it, man. You listen to the locals. You do what they tell you to do.
Listen to the locals.
Because they know.
And they're so direct about it, man. They don't even give you like a reason why. You want to go to Pizza Wagon. Full stop. They don't even say anything else.
Exactly. Epic Outro was talking about Ray's Pizza. Aren't there like 45 Ray's Pizzas in New York, though? Like, I'm pretty sure that's like the most common name. Anyway.
Yeah, everybody's got a suggestion about a pizza in New York City, and I appreciate it because they're all a bit different.
Yeah. There's some just great pizza though. I mean, but we're pretty fortunate in Connecticut to have some of the best pizza in the world here too.
Just seeing, you're right, we are, but just seeing this banter just makes me think of people like, Go to the one on 14th and 2, not the one on 14th and 3, because the guy Julie outside never gets you the right service, okay? 14th on 2, you got it? All right, buddy, have a great day. And you're like, all right.
Oh, goodness.
14th on 2, let's see if we could waze that.
So this is Will and Drew's Pizza Podcast.
Yeah. Domino's at NYC, Killer Ciroc. I don't know what you're talking about there, man.
Oh, goodness. So if you got a favorite pizza spot, come on by our Discord room. Let us know. We have a food and drink channel devoted just to this kind of discussion. Let us know what your favorite type of pizza is, what your favorite restaurant to get pizza is, where you can find pizza locally that, when Will and I start doing our world tour, our post-COVID arena tour, we're going to need pizza. He's a vegetarian.
Yes.
So we'll need to find a good broccoli pizza, a good Florentine maybe. Those are always a good hit. Yeah.
Broccoli and garlic, man, or broccoli and onion on a tomato pie on 14th and 2.
We're getting pizza this week from one of my favorite spots. It's called Roma. It's based out of Ansonia. Oh man, it's like pretty damn close to Pepe's, man.
Dude, some of those family joints are sleeper hits sometimes.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm hungry.
Same.
I just had dinner. I'm already hungry again. Do we have anything else you want to talk about? We kind of just we talked about March Madness. We still haven't decided on what I'm playing next. We started talking about pizza.
Yeah. So here's my final perspective on this. My final say, or suggestion rather. I would say God of War, because it's the most accessible. It's unlikely that you will not like it, and the length of the game is enticing. But second choice, FF7. I'm going to say Breath of the Wild is out for now.
Okay. I'm going to try to get to Breath of the Wild this year. I don't know if it's going to happen. That's my goal.
That's better.
But yeah, I think I need to get to Breath of the Wild this year because I've just been sitting on it for too long. You know what I mean? Like it's just been collecting dust. But I think you make a very compelling case for God of War. So let me think about it. Let me see where my head is and
do you have a time frame?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I just
you should set like a deadline for yourself
to choose.
To choose.
Well, Saturday then.
Okay.
Saturday.
All right.
So, take a vacation and play Breath of the Wild.
I mean, you're going to need one. That's the problem with that game.
Yeah.
You basically have to put a middle finger up to the rest of your life. I mean, if you want to experience all of it.
Pretty much. All right.
Here's something we can plug.
Yeah.
If anyone here on the stream or listening to the show, check us out on Instagram. Drew and I have been a little bit more active on the stories, so if you want to check us out at home or in our vehicles, you may do so.
Yeah, that's actually good plug. We've been trying to be a little bit more active in different ways on our social media. So last week Will recorded some stories. This week I'm recording some stories, some behind the scenes of our setup for the recording of this show. I think it's a good time at WDGR Podcast.
Yes.
So
that's all I've got, man.
Yeah, I don't really have anything either. This was really just a weird show, Will, but it was fun. It was nice talking with you about some stupid shit.
I agree, man. You're right. We needed this.
So,
break the mold.
Lost Monkey says he likes seeing our beautiful faces on my stories. Yes. Oh, I miss you, buddy. I miss all of you.
I know, man. I really do. I just want to get together and just eat some pizza.
Yeah.
Have some laughs, play some games.
Absolutely. I agree 100% with that, man. It's just been it's been too long. So, but there's good news around the corner. So we just have to continue down the path that we're on, and then before you know it, we'll all be sitting around a fire, drinking beers,
toasting marshmallows,
eating pizzas. It'll be great. Let's eat pizza, play some games, fax some pages. I like it. That is a good motto. Eat pizza, play games, fax paper.
Someone's paying attention. Good for you.
All right, let's wrap. That's our show. Let's wrap it up, folks. Find us on the web at www.wdgrpodcast.com. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at WDGR Podcast. Will, how can I find you?
Dude, I look high. I swear to God, I'm not. I don't do things like that, but I stayed up far too late last night making music, so I apologize if anybody's offended by my red eyes.
Let's zoom in on that.
Yeah, you could. Don't do it. You gotta do it. Enhance. Oh my God, don't look. You should just edit it and put like a black bar across my eyes and. SoundCloud.com/Will_gear for my fire tunes.
You're on fire tunes. They're so lit AF. You can find me on Twitter at ScionStorm. I spit fire. I don't write it. I spit it or something.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know. Dude, I'm not hip. Look at me. I'm a fat nerd with glasses.
You have a GameCube box behind you.
Yes, with a GameCube in it.
Bro, did you get stung by bees? Oh, that's too funny. We got to wrap this up.
We got to wrap this up. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. It doesn't even say goodbye.
I'm afraid.